Chloe and Amara were best friends from the bustling streets of Lagos. They carried the same dream, to rise above the struggles of their families and build a better life. Both had worked hard through university, fueled by their parents' sacrifices. But when graduation came, reality hit them like a storm. Jobs were scarce. Every application ended in silence, every interview in disappointment. Months passed, and the dream of a job faded. To survive, Chloe began selling cosmetics in the market, her stall decorated with bright lip glosses and powders. Amara, determined not to sit idle, sold thrifted clothes, spreading them neatly on a wooden table, calling out to customers with practiced cheer. The market was noisy, alive with bargaining voices, the scent of roasted corn mixing with dust and sweat. Yet behind their smiles lay frustration. They were graduates, but life had reduced them to hustling for daily bread. One Saturday afternoon, a sleek black SUV pulled up by the roadside, its tinted windows reflecting the harsh sun. From it stepped Marcus, tall, sharply dressed in a designer shirt and gold wristwatch, and Irene, a young, stunning woman in a fitted red dress, her heels clicking on the pavement like authority. They looked like wealth personified, like the life Chloe and Amara secretly longed for. The two friends exchanged a glance, their hearts racing. What could people like that possibly want in a place like this? Marcus flashed a charming smile as he approached Chloe's stall, pretending to examine the lip glosses laid out. Irene trailed beside him, her perfume cutting through the thick market air. "You girls run this?" Marcus asked, his deep voice smooth, his eyes sharp but friendly. Chloe straightened proudly. "Yes, sir. We try our best." Amara smiled politely, though her heart thudded. People like Marcus and Irene didn't usually stop to talk in this market. Irene leaned closer, her accent polished, her tone warm. "You both are too fine to be here, honestly. Have you ever considered working abroad?" Chloe's breath caught. Amara's eyes widened. It was as though the words had been plucked from their hidden prayers. Marcus chuckled, slipping his hands into his pockets. "We work with an agency. Young women like you, smart, beautiful, ambitious. We connect them with opportunities overseas. Real contracts, big names, good pay. I mean, do you want to be here in this dust, hustling every day?" He gestured at the crowded market with mild disdain. Chloe shook her head quickly. "No, sir. We want more." Irene gave them an encouraging smile. "Exactly. You could be in Dubai, Milan, or Paris." Amara felt her throat go dry. She nodded slowly, unable to hide the spark in her eyes. Chloe gripped her hand tightly under the table, excitement bubbling. Marcus pulled out a sleek black card and slid it onto Chloe's stall. "Here's our contact. Think about it. But don't take too long. Opportunities like this don't wait forever." They turned and walked back to the SUV, Irene's heels clicking against the pavement. Within moments, the tinted glass swallowed them, and the vehicle purred away, leaving a trail of dust. The friends stared at the card as though it were gold. "This is it, Amara," Chloe whispered, her voice trembling with excitement. "This is the chance we've been waiting for." And though Amara's heart pounded with unease, she whispered back, "Maybe. Maybe this really is our way out." A few days after the market encounter, Chloe and Amara were surprised to see the same sleek black SUV pull up as they were arranging their stalls. Marcus stepped out, smiling casually. "Hello again, ladies. We thought we'd stop by. Sometimes it is better to show things in person than over the phone." Irene, radiant in her designer dress, waved. "We're in town for meetings, and we'd love to show you how serious we are. Come with us for a short presentation. You won't regret it." Chloe's eyes lit up. Amara, equally eager, followed without hesitation. The SUV whisked them downtown to a luxury high-rise where a private lounge awaited. Marcus and Irene guided them through glossy brochures, showing contracts, photos, and testimonials, all carefully staged. By the time they left, Chloe and Amara were completely convinced. Dreams of working abroad helping their families, and living a glamorous life filled their heads. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of excitement. Chloe and Amara barely slept as they packed, imagining lives of luxury abroad. Their parents hugged them tightly, tears glistening in their eyes. "Make us proud, girls," Chloe's mother whispered. Their minds were full of dreams, contracts, international cities, fame, money for their families. Marcus and Irene had arrived in a sleek black SUV, and the girls, hearts pounding with excitement, climbed in without a second thought. The flight passed in a blur of anticipation. Chloe and Amara whispered, laughed, and imagined the glamorous future awaiting them. Every glance at the clouds felt like a step closer to destiny. But as soon as they landed, everything changed. Marcus's casual charm disappeared, replaced by a cold, hard expression. Irene's smile vanished, replaced by a sharp glare. "Passports," Irene demanded, her tone leaving no room for argument. Chloe and Amara hesitated. "Why?" Chloe asked, her excitement faltering. "Hand them over," Irene snapped, grabbing the documents. They were herded into a car and driven through unfamiliar streets, the dazzling city lights now feeling oppressive. Marcus and Irene said nothing else, their silence heavy with unspoken rules. Follow instructions, or face consequences. Chloe and Amara sat side by side, worry tightening their chests. Questions crisscrossed their minds. Where are we going? Why were our passports taken? Will anyone know we're here? What if this isn't what they promised? The excitement that had carried them across continents now gave way to annoying fear. The glamorous dream they had chased felt fragile, and the reality of their situation pressed down on them like the weight of the night sky. The car finally stopped in front of a tall gray building tucked into a narrow street. From the outside, it looked ordinary, almost forgettable, nothing like the luxury they had imagined. Marcus opened the door and ushered them inside. Chloe and Amara followed, hearts pounding, noticing the flickering fluorescent lights and the faint smell of dampness. A narrow staircase led them up to a cramped apartment. "This will be your new home," Marcus said curtly, motioning to two small rooms barely furnished with beds and lockers. "Settle in. Instructions will follow." Irene placed a hand on Chloe's shoulder, her smile thin, almost forced. "Make yourselves comfortable and rest. You'll need your strength." The girls exchanged uneasy glances. Something felt off. The room was dim, cold, and suffocating, nothing like the glamorous lifestyle they had been promised. Their suitcases looked oddly heavy now, as if carrying the weight of their mistake. The door shut behind them, and the apartment smelled of damp and stale air. Chloe clutched her bag, her eyes wide, taking in the narrow, dimly lit space. Marcus and Irene had disappeared as quickly as they had arrived. On one side of the room, several other girls huddled together, some asleep on old, worn-out mattresses that sagged under their weight. Their faces were pale, eyes wary, reflecting the same confusion and fear that Chloe and Amara felt. Amara's heart pounded. She didn't know where to begin. Everything was unfamiliar, and the others didn't speak. Slowly, her gaze swept across the room, noting the locked door, the barred windows, and the way the other girls flinched at every sound. Her mind raced. Morning came slowly, but the apartment felt no brighter. The girls were roused by Irene's sharp, commanding voice. Marcus hovered silently, his presence imposing, eyes constantly scanning. Chloe and Amara exchanged glances, hearts sinking. The other girls moved mechanically, as if they had long accepted this new reality. Some whispered quietly, but the words were clipped, fearful, and incomprehensible to the newcomers. That evening, Chloe and Amara were given new outfits, skimpy revealing clothes that left them exposed in ways they had never imagined. Their stomachs twisted as they dressed, the fabric feeling like a betrayal against the dreams they had chased for so long. Irene and Marcus escorted them into a car, the black SUV cutting through the night like a predator. The streets blurred past as the girls clutched their bags, hearts hammering. When they arrived, the music hit them like a wall. The nightclub was loud, oppressive, and stifling. Colored lights sliced through smoke, illuminating bodies moving in chaotic rhythm. The stench of alcohol, perfume, and sweat made Chloe gag. "Move," a man barked, shoving Chloe toward a table where a suited man waited, counting money in one hand. Chloe stumbled, panic clawing at her throat. She looked back at Amara, her eyes wide with terror. Amara grabbed her hand, squeezing it tightly. "We're together," she whispered, though her own voice shook. Chloe forced a smile, trying to appear compliant, but inside, a cold realization set in. The dream was a lie. We were merchandise. Every laugh, every whispered offer at the tables, every approving nod from strangers hammered the truth into them. The glamorous world they had imagined had been a trap. The city lights, the airport excitement, even Marcus and Irene's initial charm, all illusions. The nightclub became their new reality. Every night, they were paraded before strangers, forced to dance and smile, their bodies scrutinized. Marcus and Irene monitored them constantly, as if every movement, every blink, every hesitant step was a test. The girls felt the weight of invisible chains, knowing a single misstep could provoke anger, punishment, or worse. One evening, Irene stood in the middle of the room, a cruel smile on her lips. "Pack your things. You're being moved tomorrow. New clients. A private party." The way she said it made Amara's blood run cold. That night, as the guards dozed in front of a static-filled television, Amara, using cleaning alcohol stolen from a supply closet, she started a small, controlled fire in a trash bin in the hallway. Thick, acrid smoke began to curl and fill the air. The fire alarm shrieked, a deafening urgent sound that tore through the tense silence. In the chaos, the shouting, coughing, and scrambling guards, Amara grabbed Chloe's limp hand. "Tonight. It has to be tonight." They slipped out the back door into a dark, damp alleyway. The cool night air hit them like freedom itself. Their legs, weak from disuse, protested with every step. Behind them, angry shouts from Marcus and Irene echoed, growing closer. Amara fumbled with a cheap phone she'd stolen from a guard's coat, fingers trembling as she navigated the screen. She sent a live location pin to the international emergency number she had memorized weeks ago. "I can't run anymore," Chloe sobbed, stumbling on the wet pavement. Amara pulled her upright, breath ragged, heart pounding. "Yes, you can. We didn't come this far to only come this far." Suddenly, headlights cut through the darkness. A police car screeched to a halt, doors flying open. Officers poured out, forming a solid barrier between the girls and the shadows that chased them. Amara and Chloe collapsed against each other, sobbing, holding on as if they were the only real thing left in the world. The nightmare was over for now, but the weight of what they had endured lingered in their bones. The next morning, the police escorted Chloe and Amara back to the apartment. Officers moved swiftly, entering the rooms where the other girls were held. Many were frightened, thin and exhausted, sleeping on the same warm mattresses the friends had endured. Relief and disbelief filled the air as the girls realized they were finally free. Marcus and Irene were arrested on the spot. Evidence of their exploitation, passports, phones, ledgers, and photographs, was seized. For the first time in weeks, Chloe and Amara could breathe fully, the oppressive weight of fear lifting from their shoulders. The rescued girls clung to Chloe and Amara, tears and laughter mingling as they hugged. Some whispered their thanks, others simply sobbed, overwhelmed by the sudden taste of freedom. When the girls returned to Lagos, the community welcomed them warmly. Chloe and Amara's story spread quickly, raising awareness about trafficking, exploitation, and the dangers of blind ambition. Sitting together in their small neighborhood, Chloe looked at Amara with a half smile. "We made it." Amara nodded, eyes bright. "We survived, and we'll make something of ourselves. The right way this time." The two friends returned to their small market businesses, but now with renewed determination, wiser and stronger. Chloe and Amara's journey shows that even in the darkest moments, hope and resilience can light the way. The end.